As they were leaving the strip club, Abrahamson invited over a sex worker, 28-year-old Amanda Lowe. They had group sex in the hot tub and recorded it on video.
Alright, we are officially online.
Strange the entire night. She seemed preoccupied. He kept checking her phone. She repeatedly sent text messages to her boyfriend.
Alright.
The couple left in the early morning.
So the last couple times I tried playing this game for a minute, I had company and I could not focus
2 days after
on my quest.
Amanda Lowe and her boyfriend, 27-year-old Jason,
which is why I titled this video as I did. Because we're conquering ADHD. We paying attention today.
The detectives questioned Amanda and Andrews. Amanda admitted to being at the house that night. When she left, Abrahamson was sleeping on the massage table. At the time, the police were wondering if Amanda could have been physically able to kill Abrahamson. She was petite, so would she have been able to kill a man who was much larger than her with a sledgehammer, even if he was lying face down? If she hit him once, he probably would have been too badly injured. He would have defended himself.
Oh, one viewer. Hello, viewer.
Was struck with an
Are you the NSA trying to spy on me? And this motherfucker gone already. Fuck you too.
He was then repeatedly struck with a
Respectfully.
At the very least, the detectives believed Amanda was witness. Then the detectives interviewed Jason Andrews. He was very emotional, but denied having anything to do with the murder. He said he was miles away when the murder was committed. The police didn't have a strong case against the pair, so they released them. But they continued to investigate the couple. Amanda Lowe was from the small town of Leesburg, Georgia. She became pregnant when she was 19. After her daughter was born, she married a police officer named Lamone Logue. Shortly after they got married, Lamone was in a car accident and suffered a head injury. He was forced to retire, and the family fell into financial trouble. Amanda then started modeling, and this progressed to more sexually explicit photos. Then in 2007, she became involved in softcore pornography. In 2008, she left her husband and daughter and moved to New York City. She signed with a studio that made hardcore pornography. She also did S&M videos. Her scene partner during one video shoot in September 2009 was Jason Andrews, whose stage name was Addison. Andrews was born and raised in Kansas. His family was deeply religious. He served as a legal clerk in the Marines. After the Marines, he moved to Chicago, Illinois, where he worked as a DJ.
I think I'm going the right way.
Andrews said he wasn't gay, but he did both gay and straight porno. Andrews lied to a lot of people about his life. He told people he was originally from England and spoke with a fake British accent. Amanda and Andrews felt an instant connection during their scene, and they started dating. Andrews told Amanda that he had been part of the Israeli Special Forces, and he bragged he had killed a lot of people. Amanda, who had been a housewife and mother from a small town in Georgia, found him exciting. In the spring of 2010, they went to Florida, where they did drugs, made porn videos, and hung out on the beach. After the murder, Amanda Lowe moved back to Leesburg, Georgia, and reconnected with her husband, Loman. Jason Andrews vanished. On May 26, 2010, detectives interviewed Amanda at her home. She said that Scooter Abrahamson hired her for the sex party. She went inside the home, and Andrews sat outside in their SUV.
Man, I gotta get me some viewers so I don't sound like a schizophrenic talking to myself every 5 seconds.
And wait for them for security reasons. As she was massaging Abrahamson on the table, in a fit of jealous rage, Andrew struck him repeatedly in the back of the head with a sledgehammer. He then forced her to look at the hole in the head. He told her if she told anyone what happened, he'd do the same to her. While the detectives were interviewing Amanda, they got a call from a fellow detective who got the text history between Amanda and Andrews. In turned out they had planned the murder together. While Amanda was in the house and Andrews was in the SUV, they exchanged about a dozen text messages in which they planned out the murder. She wrote that she had left the front door unlocked. Andrews told her to subdue Abrahamson any way she could, like by stabbing him, and then he would finish the job. They were both excited about the murder. Harlow Quadra pleaded not guilty and went to trial in February 2009. Amanda replied that she wanted to have sex after the murder. Andrews also wrote, quote, "Just get him on his face, either bash or tell me to get in and where to go," unquote. Amanda wrote back, quote, "Okay, I'm horny. I'm getting him to play music," unquote. Then Andrews replied, quote, "Wicked, I'll just be waiting. Really, take your time," unquote. The police discovered foreign DNA on one of the knives. They belonged to Jason Andrews. On May 28, 2010, less than 2 weeks after the murder, Amanda Loeb was arrested. Jason Andrews was still missing. It turned out he went to Chattanooga, Tennessee to stay with his brother. He then started dating a woman. In mid-July, she took a vacation with friends to New York City. She started talking about Andrews and Googled him to show her friends. One of the first things that came up was that he was wanted for a gruesome murder in Florida. On July 15, 2010, she went to the police, and 4 hours later, Jason Andrews was arrested. Once in custody, Andrews confessed to the murder. He said that Abrahamson was asleep on the massage table when he walked in. He made eye contact with Amanda and then struck Abrahamson in the back of the head with a sledgehammer. He believes he hit him with the hammer 15 to 20 times. He confessed to stabbing him as well. He didn't say what Amanda did, but there were 2 knives with blood on them. Andrew said that he stabbed him a specific number of times, but there was twice that amount of stab wounds. So the police believe that Amanda stabbed him as well. After the murder, they went back to their hotel room and had sex. They considered it some of the best sex they ever had. Amanda was supposed to bring the laundry basket with the weapons in it, but she forgot it. In January 2012, Jason Andrews pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to life without parole. The police do not have any physical evidence that Amanda handled any of the weapons, but the text messages prove she was involved in the murder. In May 2012, Amanda took a plea deal and pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. She was sentenced to 40 years in prison. 41-year-old Jason Andrews is serving a sentence at the Charlotte Correctional Institution in Punta Gorda, Florida. 43-year-old Amanda Loeb is currently incarcerated at the Lowell Correctional Institution in Ocala, Florida.
Oops.
Her projected release date is November 2046, when she'll be 64 years old. Number 1, Brian Coaches. Brian Charles Coaches was born in Larksville, Pennsylvania in May 1962. After graduating from university, he became a medical photographer, but he left that to run his own business. In 2000, he was a partner in a cellular telephone company. Then, in July 2001, he was arrested for having sex with a 15-year-old boy twice in his home. Coaches had met the boy through the internet and brought him to his home in Dallas County, Pennsylvania.
Say what?
The first time they had sex, Coaches videotaped it. Coaches claimed that the boy lied about his age. As a result of his arrest, Coaches was removed as a partner for the cell phone business. He established a gay pornographic studio called Cobra Video.
Oh, fuck.
It specialized in videos featuring young men who look like adolescents having unprotected sex. He charged $3.95 for 17 minutes to $49.95 for 575 minutes of video on his website. In May 2002, Brian Coaches pleaded guilty to sexual abuse of children. He was given a year probation. Meanwhile, Coaches' pornography studio was successful, and he made a lot of money. A year later, in 2003, a 21-year-old man in California contacted Coaches. He said he wanted to perform in Coaches' videos.
Who the
Coaches
hell?
wasn't interested in the young man because he didn't find him attractive. Then, the man showed his boyfriend, 16-year-old Sean Lockhart, on the webcam. The young man told Coaches that Lockhart was 17, going on 18. Coaches and Lockhart then started communicating daily. Coaches was living in flophouses and struggling to get by. He thought that adult films would be a good way to make money. So he and his boyfriend scanned his driver's license and birth certificate and altered them in Photoshop to make it look like he was 18. They sent Photoshopped images to Coaches. Then, in September 2004, Lockhart traveled to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where he recorded 2 scenes for Cobra Video.
I would have chopped her head off right there, bro. Fuck that whole conversation.
Lockhart continued to act in videos for Coaches' company. He started using the name Brent Corrigan. Coaches also started to have sex with Lockhart. Coaches told Lockhart that he was worried that he had altered his driver's license and birth certificate. Coaches felt a strong attachment to Lockhart. Coaches asked Lockhart if he wanted to be his apprentice for the summer of 2005. Lockhart agreed, and he moved into Coaches' house. In August, Coaches discovered, although Lockhart had recently signed an exclusive contract with Cobra Video, he planned to start his own production company with his boyfriend, Grant Roy, in San Diego, California. Coaches was furious. Lockhart became afraid, so he got into the car he got for signing a contract with Cobra Video and drove from Dallas County to San Diego. Once Lockhart was home, he told the FBI he had been a minor when he recorded his first 4 scenes for Cobra Video. Coaches applied to get the trademark for Lockhart's stage name, Brent Corrigan. He also sued Lockhart for breach of contract. Coaches and Lockhart's boyfriend, Grant Roy, then started feuding on an internet forum about gay pornography. Coaches used the name King Cobra, and Roy used the name Cobra Killer. Lockhart went on to start a mainstream gay pornographic movie for another company, but he didn't use his stage name. Cobra Video removed 6 titles featuring Lockhart from their website and asked distributors not to sell them. In mid-January 2007, Coaches and Lockhart verbally settled their lawsuit. Coaches would receive 20% of sales from movies featuring Lockhart. On January 24, 2007, at 8:30 p.m., days after the settlement was agreed upon, the fire department was called to Brian Coaches' home because it was on fire. Volunteer firefighters were there in 2 minutes and put out the blaze. After the fire was put out, they saw that the house had been ransacked. They found a charred body inside. Using dental records, it was determined to be the body of 44-year-old Brian Coaches. He was killed when his throat was slit with 1 forceful slash. He had nearly been decapitated. He then had been stabbed 28 times in the torso and once in the groin area. It was determined that the fire was an act of arson. Several computer towers, laptops, and 2 video cameras were stolen. The police learned that 2 days before the murder, a man who claimed his name was Danny Mullen contacted Coaches. The emails came from a Yahoo account, DM Bottom PA. Mullen also sent several photos of himself. Mullen wrote that he was interested in working for Cobra Video. On the night of the murder, Coaches had invited Mullen over to talk about the production. Mullen last communicated with Coaches at 6:23 p.m., just hours before the murder.
It was too easy.
After February 2nd, 2007, the police released a photo of Danny Mullen. Several people called the police and said it was 25-year-old Harlow Quadra. They learned that Quadra lived with his boyfriend and business partner, 31-year-old Joseph Karakis, in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Quadra and Karakis met in 2001 in a Yahoo chat room. At the time, Quadra was in the Navy and Karakis was in the Marines. They eventually started dating. Karakis was also an escort. He eventually got Quadra involved in the business. They started an escort service in Norfolk, Virginia. Their website, NorfolkMailEscorts.com, became the top result when people searched for Norfolk. They also started a pornographic studio called Boy Batter. They made military-themed videos. The police searched Quadra and Karakis' home. They found 2 cameras that were the same make and model that were taken from Coaches' home. About 5 days after the murder, Quadra posted a message on a forum about cameras, asking for help in operating them. On January 23, 2007, the day before the murder, Quadra purchased a knife that was similar to the knife used in the murder. He bought it with his Visa credit card at a pawn shop near his home. The police got surveillance footage from the pawn shop and it recorded him buying the knife. A detective also got a receipt for the knife. It was also determined that the emails from
That was like 5 days ago.
From Quadra's computer. Besides one test email, the only emails sent from Mullen's account were to Coaches' email address. Also, the day before the murder, Karakis and Quadra rented a silver 2006 Nissan Xterra. A white or silver SUV was seen driving away from Coaches' home just as the fire was detected. Later that same day, using Karakis' ID, they checked into a hotel near the crime scene. The 2 men regularly went to the gym, but didn't go on January 23rd or 24th. The police also think they discovered the motive. Karakis and Quadra's businesses were lucrative, but they spent beyond their means. They were $1 million in debt. In late 2006, Sean Lockhart's boyfriend and business partner, Grant Roy, had been looking on escort websites for performers for their videos. Roy came across Quadra's profile and they started chatting. Less than 2 weeks before the murder, Harlow Quadra, Joseph Karakis, Sean Lockhart, and Grant Roy were in Las Vegas for the Adult Video News Convention. On January 11th, the 4 men met for dinner. They want Quadra and Lockhart to make a movie together. They thought they would profit $1 million from it.
Welcome once again to Leto's Law. Here's Steve Leto.
Sheldon sent me notes to Steve, check out this story from Canada. Gig workers want change after BC court rules that accepting orders amounts to distracted driving. And a lot of places have laws that say you cannot be talking on your phone while you're driving unless your phone is hands-free, et cetera, et cetera. And, I mean, you still see it. I saw somebody yesterday in traffic driving along oblivious, talking on their phone, and if a police officer were to see that, they could pull them over and give them a ticket. But the question is, if your phone is mounted, like say attached to your dashboard, and it does something and you reach over and simply poke it with your finger, is that distracted driving? And a court has said yes. The court fined an Uber Eats driver for accepting an order while he's driving, saying it's different than answering a call. And this is a great example where the law says specifically what it does and does not do, and it says specifically that you can touch your phone to answer a call. It didn't say you can touch your phone to accept an Uber Eats order if you're a driver. And the question is there a difference? Because if there's not, maybe the law actually needs to be amended. Delivery and rideshare workers and advocates are urging the BC government to review its distracted driving laws following a BC Supreme Court ruling that determined that accepting a delivery order on a phone while driving is illegal. The case involved a Vancouver-based Uber Eats driver who was ticketed in July for tapping his phone to accept a delivery order while he was driving. He testified that he He tapped the screen one time to accept a delivery offer through the Uber Eats app, which he said he's required to respond to within 5 seconds. So in other words, if he goes to pull over and park, by the time he does that, he can't do this. So a judge had originally thrown the case out, citing the motor vehicle
hello, one viewer.
for a single touch on a properly mounted electronic device.
Is that you,
However,
Mom?
the Crown appealed the decision. And last month, a justice ruled that the law only permits a single tap on a device to answer phone calls and not for other functions like using apps. So the man was fined $295, reduced from the standard $368, and he was given 6 months to pay it. In the written opinion, the judge noted the man was credible and acknowledged he was operating as safely as he could within the parameters of his job. But then she stressed that the law is written and needs to be enforced. So another person who's been driving the Uber Eats for the last 5 years says he's been on the receiving end of multiple distracted driving tickets. He says the ruling puts drivers in a difficult position, especially as the job relies heavily on phone-based apps. We are losing
the whole
money.
neighborhood went to shit.
If we accept it, then we
Hoodlums
get tickets.
everywhere.
Now, the interesting thing about this is, how is it that you got multiple tickets for literally just doing that with your phone? But distracted driving tickets in BC come with a $368 fine and 4 points on your license. Such points are like black marks, says the man who's gotten several of these, explaining that accumulating too many points can deter you from getting a job if somebody wants you to drive as part of your job. So put some more regulations in place so you don't have to suffer and face these problems every day, he urged. An attorney who does criminal-based law out of Vancouver says the legislation was not written with the gig economy in mind. It's been around for 15 years now with no changes to bring it up to speed with the current ways that we use technology. Make a lot of sense because it's no more dangerous to touch your phone to answer a call.
Oh my gosh, they're everywhere.
Accept an order. Now, some people aren't the same as Steve. Your phone rings and you might answer automatically. If you're a gig worker and something pops up, you may have to read it to decide if you're going to accept it. That might be a little more of a distraction than simply answering your phone. That's possible. That's possible. I'll grant you that. The BC Ministry of Public Safety and Solicitor General acknowledged this gap in the law, that is, the law was passed a while back, not anticipating this kind of a thing, stating when the legislation was last updated, the widespread use of apps for commercial purposes was not anticipated. They said we continue to monitor advances in technology, innovative practices, and court decisions related to distracted driving to determine if there are opportunities to update or clarify the current legislation. The ministry emphasized that distracted driving is a factor in more than 25% of fatal accidents in the province, adding that strict enforcement is essential to curbing the dangerous behavior. According to the person who said they got the tickets, companies like Uber need to bear some responsibility.
Whoa, with the whole party. Who? Who? Ready to whoop this dude's ass. Lucky I can't move. Fuck you too, dude. Oh. I probably should have expected something like that. I ain't finna lie. Right back at you, Slick. Actually. You goofy bitch, you let me die. This is going so poorly. Well, I didn't know you could switch out characters like that. That's kind of cool. Damn it, bro. My God. Christ. God damn. Expire in 15 minutes. What are you talking about? God damn. I'm trying that again. I ain't joking. Let's see what happens this time around. There we go. There we go. Damn, bro. You sell garbage. Back to the damn water palace again. Oh shit, I wasn't paying no attention.
What you're looking at is the first ever
Application will expire in 5 minutes. Why?
In 1979, the simulation was run on an IBM 7040 computer. Using punch cards, the image was hand-plotted by the French astrophysicist Jean-Pierre Luminet. And then 40 years later, astronomers from around the world came together and assembled an Earth-sized telescope, giving us the first real image of a black hole, showing just how accurate Luminet's simulation really was. You can see that one side of the accretion disk is much brighter than the other due to the
Jesus Christ. My guys are so weak. Bruh.